Down, yellow flag. Woomera range, firing completed.
Could I have your reports, please?
Firing completed, reports in. Report to go back to Salisbury, headquarters of the Weapons Research Establishment that controls the Woomera range, longest land range in the Western world. The rocket flight story is told in electronic records, pictures and sounds that have to be turned into answers to scientists' questions by measurement, by calculation, through lines on graphs, holes in punch cards. Part of the story, the rocket tells itself. It carries instruments that radio back signals to recorders on the ground. The signals are decoded in bewildering banks of machines that can turn sounds to punch tape and punch tape to figures. These are machines that can almost think, that can do in a few hours work that would take skilled men weeks. The final report, the complete story of the rocket flight, goes to the rocket makers and firers. The Salisbury headquarters are just outside the South Australian capital, Adelaide. Here, security means security, for the secret information which can be of vital importance to the defence of Australia.
Passes, please. Thank you.
There are 7 square miles inside the guarded fence, offices, laboratories, and workshops for the guided weapons program. Most of the weapons are designed and built by United Kingdom contractors who send them by plane to Australia for final test on the range. Everything that can be done at Salisbury is done here. To maintain men at Woomera costs money, so only essential staff live there. In the establishment workshops, men build and service the elaborate equipment, weave the complicated wiring patterns of guided weapons and the machines that control and record their movements. In the optical laboratory, there is a new 200-inch lens to follow rockets soaring miles into the air.
Thousands of gallons of water are used to provide cooling for the launcher area when firing. Tests are carried out on the water pumps to check on correct flow rate. As this missile is to be fired at night, huge floodlights are placed in position and checked. Cooperation between services and civilians is again the keynote. Army personnel in white overalls fuel the Black Knight to provide the propulsive power. An Army officer, known as the launcher officer, is in charge of the launcher area and all that happens in it. Power cables are connected. Delivery hoses are run out and coupled up to the pumps. The pipeline is then connected to the fuel tanks. Power on. Hand pressure is applied to the control valve and kerosene surges through the hose. The same Army crew also handles the second phase of fueling, the pumping in of high-test peroxide, or HTP. This is dangerous work as the liquid is highly corrosive, and to safeguard themselves, the men don special protective clothing, and water is kept flowing over the ground to immediately wash away any possible spillage. When the pump is positioned, the delivery hoses are run out for connection between the Black Knight and the tanker, which is carefully backed up onto the launcher. Protective helmets are put on before connecting the hose to the missile. Fueling is now in progress. Showers are left running to help keep the operators cool and to wash off any HTP. Several types of aircraft are used as targets. This Meteor jet contains no pilot. Instead, in his place is a lot of electronic equipment which allows complete remote control, including takeoff and landing. same applies to the Canberra bomber, which would normally carry a crew of 3. The Jindavik, Australia's own target aircraft, was never designed to carry a human pilot, but was envisaged as a remote-controlled target aircraft from its very inception. The Jindavik has gained world acclaim for its design and performance. It is capable of flying at very high altitudes and very high speeds. When the target aircraft is in the required or suitable position, a missile fly another day.
For untold centuries, this land has been a hunting ground of the Australian Aboriginal, inhabited by many forms of life which provided food for the natives. Lizards, kangaroos and emus abound. It was in this remote area that the Department of Supply, in conjunction with the British government, established a research station, which is now known the world over, the Woomera rocket range. Men now search for data on missiles and hunt for and recover instruments, and army personnel are engaged in the research programs at Woomera. Here, miles from anywhere in a trackless land, is a surprising, thriving township. Accommodation is of modern design, providing attractive flats where many occupants keep small gardens. Single quarters blocks cover a large area and more are planned. Occupants have comfortable rooms with ample space for sleeping and relaxation. Hot and cold water is laid on to each quarter. Design and ventilation are suited to the climate of the area. There are several hundred houses in the township. Here again, with the aid of water, the desert springs to life. Lawns and gardens are the pride and joy of their owners. Water is piped over 100 miles from Whyalla on the coast. Schooling facilities for the large child population are excellent, providing for education based on the South Australian system. The Australian Services Canteen Organisation store provides groceries, clothing, meat, bread and other similar requirements. Sport golf is very popular, sand scrapes taking the place of the more conventional greens. Cricket also enjoys a large following with many keen players. The pitch is located in a dry clay pan area. Other sporting activities include a sport for ball from which Dad gets just as much enjoyment. The soapbox derby. A good hill gives the youthful drivers a good run, following a hefty push from Dad on the fall of the starter's flag. The swimming pool is always a popular spot to swim or just laze on the surrounding lawns. The children's pool ensures safe bathing for the tiny tots. The more energetic swimmers have plenty of length to swim up and down.
320 miles northwest of Adelaide, South Australia, is a place known to the world as well as any of the Commonwealth's capital cities, the town of Woomera. a community of 5,000 to 6,000 people living with most of the advantages of city dwellers and yet in the heart of one of the continent's harshest but most fascinating landscapes. From here to other planets, in this day and age no longer a remote possibility. The Blue Streak launching site is one installation in a 5-year multi-million-dollar program to place a satellite in orbit. Blue Streak, originally conceived as a medium-range ballistic missile, carries the hopes of ELDO, the European Launcher Development Organization, in the exploration of outer space. 7 nations are partners in the venture: Britain, France, the Federal Republic of Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Australia. The liquid oxygen fuel is fed to the rocket's 2 tanks at a temperature of minus 176 degrees centigrade as the countdown proceeds. The flight plan is controlled through a maze of equipment of almost fantastic complexity. Every moment of the flight is pre-calculated, from liftoff to a height of 150 miles, through re-entry into the atmosphere and on to the impact area at Talgano, 1,000 miles from Woomera. The maximum speed expected in this test is 8,500 miles an hour. Many months of preparation begin to dovetail into the final vital stages. By contrast, the entire flight time will be a mere 10 minutes. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. A successful launch, and immediately information beams in from all sources on the progress of the flight. The 92-ton rocket soars on its journey, a short but significant step for Australia and her ELDO partners on their way to outer space.